Hey everyone, it's been a while since I've made a video, did an update. Just wanted to get on here and talk about a couple things that have been on my mind. First of all, I wanted to give a health update. I know I haven't, it's been over a month, maybe even closer to 2 months since I've updated on my health status. Really not a whole lot of changes. There will be some changes upcoming as far as my medication regimen. Can't remember exactly where I left it off, but my liver functions have improved. 2 out of the 3 are now in the normal range, high normal, but they're in the normal range. My alkaline phosphatase continues to be elevated, but it has come down from the highest of 410. It's now down to like 164. The last couple of liver function tests that I've had has shown more of a plateauing of my alkaline phosphatase. So I am scheduled to go back to see my hepatologist on the 8th of July. And so we're going to have more in-depth talk. He thinks it's time for me to go on an immunosuppressant, specifically azathioprine, which I was hoping to avoid. And we thought maybe we could avoid it, but he seems to think that, since I have pretty much what he feels like is autoimmune hepatitis and PBC, primary biliary cholangitis crossover syndrome, that because of the autoimmune hepatitis, that I do need to be on an immunosuppressant, because with the autoimmune hepatitis, the immunosuppressants usually help keep that at bay longer, or maybe even forever, where the PBC, an immunosuppressant really doesn't stop that process. The ursodiol usually kind of keeps it at bay, hopefully for the rest of my life, but one never knows with this. So I've been a little bit, I don't want to even say down, I was a little bit disappointed that my alkaline phosphatase stopped dropping. Well, it's still dropping, just not as fast as it was. So I've kind of reached a plateau. So more discussion to come in July with my doctor on that. So pretty much that's where I'm at. I'm feeling pretty good. I do have some days of fatigue, which with any autoimmune disease, that is just, just comes with the territory. It's just a hallmark of autoimmune disease, but it's not debilitating. It's not. Some days I do just have to curb what I do. I usually have more energy in the morning than I do in the evening. Right now it's going on 2 o'clock, and this is usually when my energy starts waning. And so I've just learned to structure my day around that. Now, if I'm out all day, usually I can just push through it. It'll be fine. But if I'm out all day and having a real busy day, usually that will have to take the next day and be more down and more restful, not do as much, not go as many places. My camera is saying more light required, which I was hoping to not have to do this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to turn this on, which is really going to make it blow out. But anyway, I'm going to try to get it high here so it's out of the way. I'm sorry. I usually do my pre-production before, but I'm trying something new today with the camera. So anyway, you're just going to see what looks like the sun in the background, and hopefully it won't blow it out too much. So yeah, pretty much I just, I'm sitting here on my couch. I'm very casual today. I've done very minimal makeup. I did wash my hair and take a shower and all that good stuff, but I was up early. A lot of times what happens is I do wake early and I get my exercise in, and I did a So I do a lot of chores and stuff in the morning, so I don't feel so bad at 2 o'clock. I've always hit a slump about 2 or 3 o'clock. It's just the way I've always been, even since I was young. I just learned early on my productive period is going to be in the morning. I'm not going to be as productive in the afternoon, even before I had this going on. So, I'm older too. I don't expect it to get better. Don't expect it to get better, but I'm doing well. I'm going back to the gym. I'm pushing through some soreness. I just really have felt like a marshmallow, even though I've not gained a whole lot of weight. I've actually lost a couple of pounds. This time of year, especially when it gets really hot outside, I really kind of lose my appetite. Like, I'm pretty much just eating to live, not living to eat. We're in the wintertime. Man, I could eat everything but the kitchen sink. As I was telling my neighbor this morning, I'm a very seasonal eater in what I eat and also how much I eat. But anyway, just trying to cope with the heat the best way I can, and that's staying inside in the afternoons and not overexerting myself. But again, I'm going back to the gym, and I went back starting last week, re-upped my Planet Fitness membership, and I'm doing some strength training, which has caused me to have some fibromyalgia types and symptoms, more than the usual soreness. It does amp my fatigue. But I went back yesterday for the second time. I'm really spacing out my workouts, and today I'm not as sore. I'm just trying to very gently work on strength training. I'm not trying to act like I'm wanting to win a weightlifting contest or anything. I'm just trying to go with what my body tells me. And last week, my body told me that I did too much. Because I want to go back in and do what I was doing 2 years ago. And I'm not as bad off as I thought I would be, but yet I'm having to really temper myself to not want to do as much as I was doing 2 years ago, because my body has changed. I've gotten older. I have an autoimmune disease now, so I have to kind of cut back on my expectations a little bit. Anyway, that's pretty much it on the health front. Trying to segue into just a completely left turn on what I'm going to talk about. But I am relatively new to YouTube, other than looking at YouTube videos to figure out to fix things in my house or my lawnmower or little things like that, or to look up health issues. I love following people who have had health issues like I've had and have really gotten a great insight. And that's part of the reason I started doing that's the main reason I started doing videos, because having such an obscure autoimmune disease, which it's not as obscure as it used to be, but my particular hybrid is pretty obscure. So I started this in order to give some content to people who are going through the same thing or similar things. Just trying to be helpful out there in the interwebs to people who are searching for answers or searching for experience and what other people go through. That's the main reason I started this channel. Well, since then, I've kind of delved more into YouTube as a social media platform. Now that I'm retired, I do have a little bit more downtime at times. Anyway, won't go into that, but I stay very busy. But I have started watching a lot of YouTube. Actually paying for YouTube to have no ads, that kind of thing. And I started I started following my interest, widowhood, following single women of my age who are trying to survive in a world of couples when you're no longer a couple, widowed, all that. And from there, you kind of start going down rabbit trails. And so people will say, oh, oh, I follow this person, I follow that person. And it's may not, I started following people that their lifestyles interest me. It's nothing that I would want to do full time. And so all that to say, I kind of started watching some of the nomadic people. And by nomadic, I mean people who are living in campers, RVs, even vans and cars. The van and car people, I don't quite click with as much because that's so far outside the realm of my reality and what I would choose to do. And some people are not doing this by choice. There are some people out there who are really homeless, but yet they are using YouTube to try to make some money and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I started following one particular person in the nomadic community. I'm not going to name their names because I am not a reaction channel, and nor do I want to be a reaction channel, even though I am going to share some of my reactions today about the nomadic people and about the reaction channels that have popped up about the nomadic people. So it's kind of been my guilty pleasure a little bit, especially the reaction channels. So YouTube, like any other social media, can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. It can be a very uplifting thing, or it can be a downright dumpster fire, as anything on the internet. So there's a few things that I do watch that are a dumpster fire. and there's a few people who, well, this one particular person, I felt kind of, I don't know, when I first started watching them, I don't know, they just kind of sucked me in. And then I realized why they sucked me in. And it wasn't for a good reason. And it's reasons I won't go into here because they're personal. But I quickly realized that this person was similar to somebody I'd had in my life before. And so it was kind of a love-hate relationship. Not that they even know me. I did buy them a coffee one time. I did do that. Don't regret it. Really don't. But, then I realized there were things this person was saying, advice they were giving people, some seemingly maybe nefarious ways they got what they got. I'll just say that. Personally and financially. So along come the reaction channels. They started popping up about this person, and I started watching them. And they really became a guilty pleasure because they were kind of, the first thing is they kind of confirmed everything that I was feeling about this particular nomadic person. And it kind of made me, I feel like the longer I have lived, and the things I have gone through, I have gotten some insight on human behavior, and I can feel people out after a while. But I've always found out the things that I might not feel as, like if I get a little nudge in my spirit about somebody, like, they're not quite right. I will eventually find out that other people feel the same about them, and maybe even stronger. Like in this case, people have felt compelled to have reaction channels just surrounded about this person. Now, whether or not they know this person personally, I think one or two might have had interactions with this person in their lifetime. Don't know that for sure. Or if they have just, the reaction channels are really just taking some of that person's content, reacting to it for their own YouTube views or for their own financial gain. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can build a YouTube channel and you can make some money off of it. It's a fickle way to make money. you know, I would not want it to be my full-time job by no stretch of the imagination, but some people do. Some people are relying on this for their full-time existence or to supplement a very low income. And they have to constantly just pump out content. And I don't know, I have investments and I would rather rely on the fickleness of the stock market than the fickleness of YouTube, because YouTube is very fickle and the return on investment is not good unless you do something to somehow become viral. And this person that I've been following had a viral video that got over 1 million views. And so they just kind of come out of obscurity, hit it big, went viral, which is, you know, your usual internet story. So, you know, getting back to the reaction channels, I don't have a problem with the reaction channels. I mean, people are creative, and I enjoy the creativity of people to say, hey, I'm going to take this person's content and use it in a fair use way. That is allowed on YouTube. You know, fair use content. It's the law. You know, you put stuff out there in the internet, put stuff out there in the world, people can take that video and hack it up and use it any way they want to. As long as it doesn't enter the slander or libel category. Of course, there's always some kind of legal line you have to straddle. But, you know, people are using, these people who go viral, using their content to make their own self money. I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. Here's the problem I do have with reaction channels, and I do have with YouTube in general. And this includes the commenters on these channels. You know, there's some people who support particular people and would ride or die till the end. They won't believe anything negative about that person. They think they hung the moon. Again, completely within their rights. People even send them large amounts of money. Again, completely within their rights. You know, a lot of the reaction channels talk about, oh, this person is grifting. This person is grifting. This person is trying to exploit people on YouTube for money. Okay. Are you making money on your views? Have you set up a membership program? I have to say, you know, it's the pot calling the kettle black. I do believe that it's unethical to make claims about financial advice or claiming you're an expert on something. And this person that I've been following has done that, has claimed that they have the view on Social Security and retirement that beats all views, and that nobody should take any other advice but their advice. Yes, they should be criticized for that, especially because they don't have the credentials, and they are potentially leading people down a bad road. Now, can this person stand on a person and make them sign up for Social Security at 62? No, they can't. They're not putting a gun to anybody's head. And if you're making financial decisions off of some person, random person on YouTube, telling you that's what you should do, I think you need to go have some counseling myself, because that's just extremely idiotic. I have been fortunate enough to be able to retire early, partially because of circumstances forced me into it, and partially because I was able to. I'm just going to leave it at that. You know, again, I could go into the reasons that I retired were not, I'm done with this job, I'm kicking it to the curb. No, that wasn't. It was basically I had to be a caregiver. And I have been a caregiver for, nearly 2 years. And, now I'm helping my mom live independently. Not exactly caregiving, but I am handling much of her financial affairs, and keeping her house running from 2.5 hours away. So the reasons for retirement are completely unique to each individual financially. I could be in a position where I couldn't have retired. I'd still have to work, and I would have worked. I wouldn't have just said, oh, I'm going to retire because I just feel like I want to retire. No, that's stupid. It's really just stupid. But anyway, back to my point about, the nomadic people. And let me finish my thoughts on the reaction channels to anybody. I mean, I know this is a new trend on YouTube now, is reaction channels, not just to the specific person, but to a lot of different people, especially the people who've made it big. It's just like anything. You make it big, spotlight's on you. Also, the crosshairs are on you. People are going to try to take you apart, either because of jealousy or either because, well, jealousy is a lot of it, and I'm not saying that's the main motivating factor in this person's case, but, people who have, are maybe saying things that aren't true or misleading people, they deserve all the criticism that they get. But again, once you hit it big on YouTube, you're in the crosshairs, for good or bad. And even me, I mean, I could put this out there and people start being ugly toward me. Not that I have any viewers or any followers. I have very few. But anyway, just the main thing I want to say about reaction channels, I don't have anybody I don't have any guff with anybody criticizing people's behavior. You put yourself out there. Some people, this person I've watched, they pretty much video their whole entire life for content. I mean, 4 or 5 videos, even sometimes more a day. They put themselves out there. So we get to see all their good points and their bad points. But here's the problem I have with the reaction channels is people who start commenting about people's physical appearance. Most of our physical appearance is due to our genes. It's due to nothing that we control. Yes, I can control how much makeup or whatever I do, which today I have very minimal makeup. This is my home makeup, and sometimes I don't even wear any. But since I made a video, I didn't want to scare anybody, so I put a little bit on. But I've just noticed people acting like middle schoolers in these reaction channels, in the comments, and even in the videos. Just saying ugly things. I mean, just things I would have heard in middle school. And, okay, that's just petty. That's just disrespectful. And it's really uncalled for. If you have a problem with the person as far as how they're acting, call out how they're acting. But keep their physical appearance out of it. We all have flaws. We all have parts of our body that we don't like, or maybe we don't even like anything about our body. I mean, I hope everybody can find something about their body that they like and think is positive, but I'm sorry, I don't like bullies. And there are some of these reaction channels that can be a little bit bullying as far as talking about people's physical appearance. And, just be respectful, folks. I know that's a lot to ask. I'm not always respectful. I have my bad days. I lose my temper. I say words I shouldn't say, especially in traffic. Oh my gosh. I've yet to find the person who can keep it completely cool in traffic sometimes with the way people drive nowadays. But that's my Achilles heel. I will admit it. But I try to not get into road rage. It's hard sometimes. But anyway, going back to, as we get older, things sag. Right now, I'm dealing with a little bit of a moon face and red cheeks because I'm on a steroid right now. And, yeah, a lot of people have made bad decisions that have led to them aging quicker, blah, 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 or whatever. But most of the time, our physical appearance is, out of our control a lot. It really is. So all I'm saying is, people, let's stay classy. Let's be kind. I mean, we all have our moments where we're not kind. And I've been accused of being too nice. I mean, I'm not always a nice person, but in the past, I've had people say, "You're too nice. You should get firm." And as I get older, I do get firmer. Like if I'm dealing with customer service or something I feel like I've been wronged about, I will get firm, but I'm kind. And I don't start attacking somebody's physical appearance or how they talk or what. I just don't do that. Because number one, I am a Christ follower. If you want to call me a Christian, okay. A lot of people don't like that term, but I try to be a Christ follower, which means that I try to emulate Christ as much as I can. Not perfect. Even probably in this video, I'm not being as much as a Christ follower as I should, but I just want to encourage people. We all have struggles and we all have a hard time. We do. And we react out of those struggles. And some people have developed the skills to, respond and not react. And that's what I'm trying to do, to learn to slow down and not to react and just to respond in kindness, maybe firmly, be assertive, get your needs met, but be kind. We all need a lot more kindness in this world. And yes, I have felt bad because sometimes I do watch these reaction channels and I'm like laughing and things like that. But I don't know, when it comes to mocking somebody's physical appearance, that's when it really feels like, okay, this has crossed a line. But yeah, people need to be called on the carpet. I get it. But just remember, YouTube is just another social media. What you're seeing on there is not somebody's real life. Even people who seem to film their life 24/7, you're still not seeing everything going on behind the scenes. So let's be kind. Yes, we can have an opinion. We can voice that opinion. But let's all try to be kind. All right, y'all, take care. We'll talk to you soon.